All right, welcome to Sidetrack with Sammy. We're here live on the YouTube. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in live, and welcome to everybody that is going to listen later. We'll have this on all the podcast platforms. It'll stay up on YouTube, living there. And we'll have it on Spotify. And I need to get on Apple Music soon, but I'm still mainly Spotify and other podcast platforms. So just wrapped up a busy weekend. The long-awaited Sturgis TT was sick. Street racing. Excited to talk about that one. Had a bit of drama, bit of slamming, and a lot of good stuff. I went double duty racing both classes. So we got a guest this weekend again to help me talk through it. One of my teammates on the Triumph team, which one of many, we had 6 riders on the team. Welcome the world famous Robbie Bobby. What's up, Robbie Bobby?
Hello.
Dude, how's it going, man? How are you today?
Oh, man, it's going great. I'm fighting a pretty big cold, so if I sound a little snuffled up, that's the reason. But other than that, I'm having a good day.
Good. Man, we've known each other a long time, hey? Like, I don't even know when it started. Back in the pre-2010 years or something?
Yeah, I think like maybe 09, maybe 07. Way back yonder for sure.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of good
Been
history
a hot minute.
together. Yeah. Rob's always had my back. He's kind of like me, a controversial character in the sport at times, but Rob's always had my back and helped me so much over the years. So appreciate you for everything you do for my little ass and the sport and everything. And I mean, clearly we can tell from the live feed here that your future is so bright that you got to wear shades.
Yeah, man, my future is always bright. Never a dull moment.
What kind of sunglasses you got on there?
I don't know. What are they?
Are they Daltons?
Oh, they're Spies. No,
Spies.
these are actually Bobby Fong's sunglasses he left in my truck a million years ago.
Oh yeah, you go way back with Bobby Fong as well, from the road race days and stuff like that, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think you're my number 1 kid, and Bobby's number 2, and then Dalton, and then there's a bunch of other little ones sprinkled in and stuff too. Trevor's in there, you know.
Yep. Now Dalton's really yours.
It's crazy to think.
He's like your responsibility now, huh?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you were the oldest one, so you kind of set the tone, but they didn't follow your financial advice leads, I guess, because Bobby
I tried to help
both lived with me.
I tried to help those kids sometimes with financial advice, and I'll keep trying. But yeah, I love finances, so I'm happy to any racers out there that want to learn about finances, how to invest. The sooner you invest, the better. So hit me up. Happy to help for sure. And I mean that.
Yeah, Sammy's like, hit me up, pay me, and I'll tell you.
I'll take a cut.
Yeah.
69%.
But it's probably pretty good advice, though. Definitely going to be good advice because
I think P500.
You're going to want to make money too. Yeah.
No. So where is Dalton anyway?
Venture capitalist.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, now real estate, man. I'm so busy these days with the racing gig and then real estate as well. I was actually in the office today getting all set up with Keller Williams and the realtor thing. I'm all set up on the MLS now. So hit me up for commercial, residential investment properties in North Carolina. I'm your guy. I'm ready to make it happen for sure. Shameless plug.
Oh, I wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah, well, here it is.
Yeah.
So where is Dalton? Is Dalton home or?
No, Dalton's got his own place now.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all still live together. Okay.
I mean, he's still always around, but no, he's got his own pad now.
Nice.
So another one has left the nest for now.
I saw he was heading.
They always come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is he headed to Texas? I thought I saw on Instagram today that he was headed to Texas or something. What's he up to?
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure. I haven't actually. I tried to call him earlier, but I didn't hear back from him yet, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Damn, dude. Keep an eye on your kids now over there.
I know, man. He unplugged the tracking device.
Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta have the tracking on them for sure. Share the location on the iPhone.
Yeah.
So Sturgis TT, let's get into it. How about what should we start with? The course, obviously not a traditional flat track. The street TT, a lot of pushback going into this one. A lot of the guys were very negative on it. For me, like obviously I picked it as one of the events I wanted to do. Obviously I do select events, and I'm like, this seems cool. Street race, something different. And for me, I'm picking the lower speed tracks. I think it's safer than a lot of the car tracks we race. Although, you know, first event, I think there could be some improvements with the safety. But I thought, I mean, I signed up for it. I'm like, let's go. But you raced it too. So Robbie and I were on the Triumph team together, riding the Triumph Tiger 1200. And they had 6 of us on the team. Yeah. So that was sick. Teammates with Rob, riding that big beast. So what did you think of the track overall? Like, I mean, you don't have no filter, just like honest track, safety, like new style of racing, closer to supermoto, but city streets. I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like you. I was it was pretty exciting to think about racing asphalt because I got a supermoto background, just like you've raced a few little supermoto races here and there with our buddy Thunder. But the street part was also intriguing to me because, you know, who doesn't want to race in a really populated area in front of a whole bunch of people?
Right.
Of course, like everybody else, I had my concerns at some point. And just like you just said too, there's other things I would do differently, but um, I had a good time, put it that way. And I was going to race it no matter what, even if I had to get my 450 out. But luckily, we got to be
Really?
teammates, so it worked out even better.
Sick. Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was good. But then I saw clips of the Sturgis Supermoto race that they did back in the day, and that track looked way better. Like I'm like, man, we got to step it up. I don't know. It looked like, but I mean, I know they had a lot of obstacles going into this race. I think initially they planned on doing a bigger track, but after I saw the Sturgis Supermoto course that they ran back in the day, it looked a little bigger. I don't know. Maybe it was more off of Main Street. I don't really know, but that asphalt was freaking slippery. That was the slickest pavement I've ever rode on. That was a big surprise for me. I thought we were going to be like needing whole shot devices for the start. I mean, obviously they made the wrong call. I knew going in that riding R7s was like a silly call. I don't know if like Dunlop, I think test the tires, and I think they test on like a road course, which we're riding like some slippery pavement without the load of an actual road course, where I think they test, like Taylor Knapp and them test the Dunlops on the proving grounds, which is I forget where the Dunlop headquarters are, but I think that's where they test them on. But,
Alabama.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that's like a road course, and which isn't really like
Yeah.
the amount of load you'd have going on like testing tires on a road course versus what we had is like completely different. But yeah,
For sure,
so that was
for sure.
that was
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like you and I kept, you know, adjusting our tire pressures, and at the end of the day, you know, I was like using you as a gauge or trying to, and you were playing possum with Eslick, so I got screwed, but then you screwed yourself too. But obviously,
yeah,
it worked out well in the end for both of us but yeah, man, that was weird how slick it was, and it was really weird how the big heavy adventure bikes. I mean, I know you for sure because I hit the locks a few times, and I know damn good and well you know how to hit the locks.
No, I did
And
not hit the locks.
dude, you did. I for sure thought you would have, especially coming on off the dirt, because right there was like, man, I just wanted to double apex, like smoke the tire, and I could almost get it done, man. And then of course here comes Eslick.
Dude, you hit the lock stops like fully sideways, trying to hit the
It
lock
felt
stop.
like it. I mean, I didn't go clink, clink, clunk, but I mean, it was out there, dude.
When I was pushing behind Bromley, I was like starting to ride like over my head a little bit because I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get this win. And a couple of times I cased like the frame or whatever was the lowest thing hanging. I cased that on the pavement a couple of times entering the road corner. But yeah, that was the only kind of incident for me. But I couldn't believe how well that thing handled in the dirt. Like, dude, I felt like I would try and crash it in the dirt. Like I would just throw it in like with careless, and it would just like right through there, super easy.
Yeah, I told like 5 people the same thing. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Johnny P at the shop and telling him, I said, I wasn't sure the limits, and came over and talked to you, and you said, man, one time I almost tried to crash the thing, and I still couldn't. It was that stable and that good, and then in the main, I guess my nuts dropped, so to speak, and hell, I think I dropped like over a second off my lap time, being able to be behind you and Bromley. Of course, he was flying, and then of course our teammate. Yvonne.
Yeah. Yvonne. Yeah.
He's so fun. I like that guy.
Dude, our team was so cool. Yeah, Ivan Cervantes came from Spain. That was so cool of Triumph to bring him over here. Like total badass dude. Like shows up like freaking ripped, like ready to go. Like man, it's like he was ready. And the other guys on the team, Nick Brochet, Apex Nick or something on Instagram, and Ernie Vigil. Like I know those guys from being badass stunt riders, and I showed up with Friday into town and was with them. Those guys, they were the coolest guys. They were so like well put together. They do all the Triumph like shoots for Triumph for like releases of new bikes. So they run those productions. They're doing like they're acting in Netflix shows or movies or whatever. And so yeah, that was super cool having them on the team. But yeah, so that was a rad experience. But yeah, let's quit talking about ourselves right now. Let's back her up to back to the course. The things I wanted to touch on with the course. Overall good. The only thing safety wise that I think that needs to be looked at initially that I comes to mind for me was the barriers that they used. Like we saw Davis like barely brush the barrier and it just like caught his foot instantly. And that's the main thing is we're going to be obviously pushing out wide into those barriers. They're going to give us a narrow course. And so we just need to do this the best we can to have a smooth barrier to where worst case scenario, you brush up alongside of it. You're not snapping toes and ripping shit off. So, yeah, I guess even if it was as simple as freaking putting smooth plywood on the other side of those barriers, something smooth, I think would do the trick there. That and outside of that, they tarped the dirt section. Finally, we're trying tarps in American Flat Track. It's taken till 2024, but we're finally trying to cover the dirt with tarps when we have torrential downpours. Wow. Is this a sign of things to come? Probably not. No. hopefully they do that for some of the smaller circuits, right? Like Daytona. I mean, Daytona's sick when it rains and it gets wet, but sometimes it's too much. So hopefully they consider that for the future to use some tarps for some of the smaller tracks, which to be fair, we don't have a lot of smaller tracks. So, but yeah, I think the tarps over the dirt was sick. But it rained so freaking much. Like I thought it was going to be flooded, like just from poor drainage, and that we would not be able to run it. But because it rained an insane amount. But yeah, they were like going to get that race in no matter what. So they didn't do everything perfect. It was a little bit chaotic, but they got that freaking race in. So mission accomplished for AFT. They had a huge battles, obviously, between like the votes and all that, but they had some support from the city and got it in. So that was huge.
Yeah, man, I thought it was great all the way around. Like we've said, there's definitely things that we see, especially being armchair quarterbacks, after the fact. But walking the course, and I walked it several times, and I saw the little cutout things that Davis hit. And yeah, you're right. It's just one of them things. It's like, man, like did maybe nobody else saw it either. I mean, I personally didn't even give it 2 looks until after it happened to Davis. And then of course, then it's too late. But they've been passed by 1,000 times throughout the day at 100 miles an hour. And nothing's happened, but that one time. And of course, I hope he's all right.
No, he is. I was actually going to check with him, but then he posted on Instagram that he just bruised some toes, so he didn't break anything. So overall, I don't think anyone got hurt then. I think maybe Jared Lowe crashed as well, but I think he's okay. I think he got up from it. So all the hype, the petition to not race from the Mies was putting out there, like everything, all that hype, and luckily no one got hurt. But for sure it was totally different like situation. I get why the boys were not like had their reservations and stuff with the event. So all good, guys. I get it. It was something different, but yeah, freaking AFT pulled it off. I heard they're looking for more. So yeah, that was cool. And then yeah, we'll get in the singles main unless you got anything else.
No, not really, man. Like I said, I pretty much echoed what you said. We'd like to see some improvements, and I'm sure they're going to be looking at stuff, especially what happened with Davis's foot. But
yeah,
other than that, I don't see what they could have done on the time of the day to make it any better. I mean, the tarping thing worked out perfectly.
Right.
It could have been a hell of a lot worse. Actually, if it wasn't for the tarps, we probably wouldn't even have raced.
Right. Yep. No, that was super cool. Hopefully they do more tarps in the future. So yeah, pulling up the results here. We got Cody Kopp taking the win in the singles, like solid performance. And it was just him and his dad there this weekend, which was cool. I talked to Joe briefly afterwards, and he was like, yeah, that'll be, memories that they remember forever after that one. Andrew Butler, his regular mechanic, stayed home on that one. So yeah, it was just Cody and his dad. It was super cool to see. I saw when Cody came in off of the heat or dash win, he was like not having time for Kristen B. He was like, I'm putting my tire warmers on. I'm getting the tire warmers on, that hard R7 tire, and before I do the interview and stuff. So he was on it, like in the zone, focused, getting it done. It'll be interesting to see where his career goes, man, and seeing him on a twin. That'll be it's going to be needed, with Mies leaving. I guess Mies is leaving, after this year. It's crazy to think about that. I wonder if he'll, I haven't asked him directly yet, but
he ain't going nowhere.
I don't know, man. Especially with like him being the AFT's new whipping boy. I don't know if he wants to stick around for more of that,
Yeah, he's taking some spankings.
Yeah, dude, for real.
He ain't been spanked that bad since Henry Wiles is at Peoria.
Oh boy. All right, yeah, we'll have to touch on that more when we get into the twins for sure. So Cody with the win. Oh boy, Taryn Santero, freaking second place, man. Podium. First podium, I think, for Taryn. I was sick. I just watched it back. Like, he did a last lap pass, it looked like, on Tom Drain. He was hounding him and got the pass. He's got to be pumped. That kid's obviously got some good skill. I don't really know his background too much. Like, obviously a California kid, so he probably must have rode a lot of off-road stuff as well, because you could tell, like, the way he was sending it through the dirt section and stuff looked like he had some really good bike control. So that was cool to see.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. And they're a super small, underfunded team. No offense, I'm not trying to make fun of their bank account at all, but they've been at it, struggling. They've had plenty of struggles. So to see all the hard work and stuff go into a unique track like that, where I think all the riders had to adapt, and he was pretty fast from the get-go. And just like you said, in the dirt section, I got to watch the main from the dirt section, and he clearly had Tom's number in there, but Tom was racing really smart and defensive too. So it was good to see two young guys going at it hard, but clean. They definitely didn't look like they were trying to take each other out, but definitely big ups to him on his first podium. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. And Tom Drain, just, that kid is so solid. Another podium, dude. Love that for Tom. I got to catch up with him and his dad a little bit. Was at the same hotel. I wish I caught up with them more, man. I like hanging with them guys. I actually rode for his dad in Australia. And
oh wow.
Out and when, like, I don't even know, like 14, 15. And
was that the Bayless?
Yeah, for the Bayless Classic, rode his dad's bike. I think it was back then. Dude, we'd go over to Australia and the bikes are on methanol. Like, dude, it's insane. Fast
yeah, we need to go back. I want to go back.
Dude, I know, right?
You can go back, but bring me this time.
Dude, yeah, we're looking at my buddy Jason Bailey is looking at trying to put something together to bring some of us over there at the end of the season for a round of the Aussie Flat Track Series. So we're looking for a partner to help fund that deal, which would be sick. to go over there again. It's such a cool experience going to Australia, mate. Yeah, dude, they're
I want to be Mad Max. Fury Road. I'm gonna get custom suit that says Fury Road on it.
So Chasey Bear 4th, Chase Sadoff 4th.
He had a wreck too. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. It looked and appeared as if he tucked the front going into the uphill, like after the starting line, the first left-hander right there.
Like in the main?
No. And I think either practice or qualifying. If I'm not mistaken, maybe somebody that comments can fill me in, because I remember it being like a red flag and seeing Bigelow go running. And then I asked his dad later on if he was all right, just checking on him. And he said, yeah, he was good.
Dude, kid pushes.
Oh, so he still got 4th. So, it don't matter. Asphalt still doesn't feel that great to crash into. So,
mad respect, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting looking at the sponsor list. At the sponsor list, it just says JPG Motorsports for him. I don't even know what that is. But I'm surprised he doesn't have more listed. And then Bronson Pierce, dude, like 5th place. He's I guess a supermoto rider. I guess he runs the high-end supermoto stuff in Europe. I don't really. I mean, I've heard the name around for a long time. Maybe I know him if I saw him. I don't. Do you know Bronson?
Yeah, man, dude, he's awesome. He rode great too. Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all.
Where's he from?
I think like South Dakota or somewhere. I mean, he's
from. I thought he was a local.
Well, if he's not from there, I know he's raced. I think I saw where he had said that he had raced the supermoto part before, but I knew he had a supermoto background. I'm friends with one of the guys out west that runs one of the series out there, and I follow that stuff, and I see his name in other events too. So
that's so cool. Like for him just to pop into an event and get a top 5 against the regulars. That's shout out Bronson Pierce. Impressive. And then your boy Chad Coast, 6th place.
Check out his sponsor
list. Oh, D&D Cycles, DG79, and Robbie Bobby.
Hey, but the thing is, he was gonna ride for me out there on mine and Dalt's bike.
Okay.
And unfortunately, James Ott got hurt previously in the week. So Chad rode for First Impressions, but they I guess either Chad or Eric forgot to change the sponsors. So me and Dalt got free sponsor plugs.
Yeah, man. Love it. Love that.
Free advertising. I love you, Eric.
You guys.
Checks in the mail, Eric.
Yeah,
checks in the mail.
Dude, I didn't get a chance to catch up with Eric from First Impressions, but I saw he had his Airbnb like directly across the street from the track. So we know he was having a great time, living it up, loving that Sturgis Bike Week vibe. Shout out Eric from First Impressions race team, and super cool to see what they're doing. Just like that's the stuff we need in this sport, guys like that, just running race teams, making this thing happen. So hopefully he sticks around for a long time to come.
For sure.
And Justin Anselmi, 7th place. That's got to be his best finish. Team TDR Unsettled Racing. It shows. So that's a great run for him. California boy. So loving that TT action. Evan Renshaw 8th, Olin Kistler, my little Washington homie.
Yes.
He's just a young buck. He was 9th, and Jared Lowe 10th. Trent 11th. Dang.
Man, I like Trent a lot, but he looked like a fish out of water.
Really?
Yeah, I love him to death.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blame Corey for this. Corey should have been training him on some asphalt parking lots because, back when me and Dalt were doing the Harleys. Whenever you have the weird tracks like that, man, asphalt parking lots are the sketchiest shit you'll ever ride on. But, man, they work.
All right. So drinking game, part of this. Every time we mention Corey Texter, Tank Slapping Podcast, take a drink, boys, ladies and gentlemen. No, much love, Corey, in the Tank Slapping Podcast. I saw they just put out another freshie today. I started listening to a little bit of it, but good stuff over there. We got Hunter Bauer 12th, Travis Patton 13th, and on down the line. All right. So that's the singles main. That's about it for that one. No other notes, I don't think, from that for me. And then unless you have anything, but should we do Super Twins or Adventure Trackers next? I guess we save the best for last, and we'll just go into Adventure Trackers. Did you think I was going to say Adventure Trackers was the best?
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's the one I was in.
Yeah.
But we can do that. We can do Super Twins last.
Okay. All right. So I'll pull those results up. But yeah, let's tell me a little bit about your experience in the on the Triumph. Like, how was that? What did you think? And do you think it has a future? Like, do you think it's starting off like close to the baggers? Do you think it has a future like the baggers? What do you think we're at with that?
Well, I love the uniqueness of the idea, kind of like baggers. Everybody in the world, it seemed like there was sometimes in road racing forums when I felt like an idiot for being in favor of the baggers, and I felt the same way about the adventure trackers. It felt like everybody said it was stupid, and I was like, well, wait a second, I want to think about this. But my personal experience once we got to the track and got to the bikes, and I was like, yeah, it feels like a real big old heavy adventure bike. But man, I was really pleasantly surprised at. I sound like a Triumph plug right here, but I felt so surprised at how nimble it was once you were going, and then like backing it into a corner. I mean, it felt like just a big supermoto. It didn't twist itself into a pretzel, like some
Right.
bikes tend to do.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I wish I was just a little bit faster, so
Dude,
my name was a little higher up that list.
I know. You should have got a podium, man, especially with the way that main worked out with Bromley stalling, or our freaking big boy Frankie stalling it, and Bromley shutting his bike off. Yeah, he should have been up there. A podium would have been sick. But yeah, like I kind of went in like a little nervous. Like I'm like, man, I'm not overly nervous, because I was just like, dude, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like I'm gonna just have a go and see what happens. And I didn't think through too much how much it was gonna be riding two classes back to back. I just like, honestly, I've been so busy with everything. I'm just like signing up for stuff. I'm like, let's go, do it. And then I'm like, all of a sudden we're doing 3 practice sessions, 2 qualifying sessions per class. So I was 5 sessions on the track before we raced. I was like, holy crap. I started pulling off a lap early in the adventure tracker qualifying practices, and just like, it wasn't too much. It wasn't breaking me down physically too much. I was sweating a lot, but it was mentally a lot, to the point to where in the last qualifying session, when it really counted, I didn't execute like I needed to. But that was a lot, just like mentally, to try and focus on 2 bikes. So I was really trying to focus on the Super Twins, and just with the adventure trackers, like dude, like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, and just see. But yeah, that was a lot, riding both classes. And I didn't really, honestly, I showed up and I was like, man, I should have maybe thought this through a little more. I would have done it still, but I just didn't really think about how hard it was going to be riding 2 classes. That was a lot, and it probably took away from a little bit, just being able to focus on one. Bromley was ripping. It shows here, I didn't even notice this, that I did have the best lap at 28.6. It's not bad on them bikes. They weren't that much slower, I don't think. But yeah, so I was nervous going in because I'm just a little guy and it's a big bike, but it was actually easy for me to touch. The thing worked so well. It was easy to ride. I'm not just saying that to hype up Triumph. But the thing was just like easy to ride. And like I was saying earlier, in the dirt, it worked so well. And I just watched the race back on Flow. And I will say, like, at the beginning, it was exciting, and was like dicing a little bit. I passed Bromley at first lap. He passed me back, and then I was like pushing on him for a while. And then Bromley broke, and then it was like kind of more boring. But it kind of reminded me of maybe the level that Baggers started. Like when Baggers started, it was just a few guys. There was only maybe a couple fast guys, kind of like, and then it just like kept growing from there. The hype kept growing from there. So I think it kind of has a similar start. So I didn't really know what to expect, but yeah, after watching it back and thinking it through, I'm like, man, maybe there is potential for it to grow that way. I did hear from some fans that it was their favorite, just like, I don't know if just because they could relate with it more, because we were like doing freaking burnouts all the time to try and heat up they had those like 10,000 mile tires on that were just like brand new, like so slippery. So we were like doing burnouts, trying to heat them up, and just looking like a bunch of dang hooligans out there. So I don't know if that's maybe kind of helped the fans relate with it a little more. But for that wasn't maybe the best track for them because honestly they worked so well in the dirt. I think we start getting on more dirt circuits. I think we're going to see even better action because we watched like in the dirt, like we're getting squirrely through the dirt, sliding them around a little bit. It looked good on the dirt, not bad on the pavement. So I think they've got potential for that. After the race, AFT Gene asked me about ovals, and I'm like, I don't know about racing them on an oval. I'm like, I think sticking to TTs maybe, but I mean, it could work on an oval. I would say maybe if there's like a little bash fest, like Daytona short track, maybe for them, I think might be acceptable. Just for like
Man, you know how slick that
spectacle.
would be?
Oh yeah, that would suck, kind of, huh?
I mean,
No.
because we
Yeah,
already, at least at Daytona, can't you run a 3 or a 5?
yeah,
And these tires are like a 48 if we're comparing numbers.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
so I
don't get
don't.
me wrong. If you have one, I'll go. But
Yeah,
I'm stupid.
yeah.
Man, yeah, I liked it too, man. I wish, like you, it'd be definitely a TT thing. Like me and Dalton were actually talking about Springfield TT. Like it'd be awesome, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so.
yeah.
Because it's like a little short shoot, then you got the tight left, hit the jump, then you got to slam on the brakes to the right. Like so. Anyway, I don't know. I was just thinking, like we had already talked about TTs. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to do it like at Arizona TT. That'd be like, ooh, that's fast.
Dude, it would. Well, that's a thing on the hard pack, like slippery hard pack. I don't know. They'll have to try something with the tires, but but
Lava.
but if it's a little like that dirt was fine for it. So, anyways, I think there's potential there, maybe just in the
Yeah.
sense of like kind of ridiculous, like just like the baggers. It's kind of ridiculous. Shouldn't really do it. Purists are gonna hate it, just like the purists of road racing hate it. Like hate the baggers. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, but it's also kind of cool.
And they're making money.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, they're bringing money to the road racing on a high level, and Triumph came in with like that's the first time I've worked with Triumph, and I'm working with Triumph America. Now I have great relationships with Triumph America. I'm seeing the dealers, different dealers, Triumph dealers sharing this. I saw like because you're a Triumph dealer, right? So
Yep.
what is that? What do you think that does? I mean, what it means for? I mean, you don't have to hype it like more than it is.
No.
Curious, like
Yeah,
I know,
I won't get it coded. They're stoked, man. They're stoked. There's actual Triumph, like not corporate emails. Obviously, I'm not included in those, but there's already been like a little marketing campaign. Like there's been press releases before, during, and now after. Obviously, everybody's super excited because they got a podium. And then what's even cooler about Triumph is they kind of appreciate everybody, even though myself and Cole were on down the list, but they were proud of all of us. But you could tell genuinely everybody in the company, for the most part, that I know that works there, are super stoked, and they were excited. So,
yeah.
And that's a whole new set of eyes, right? Like Triumph, there's no real reason for Triumph guys to check out flat track at all. So, whole new demographic, maybe.
Right. Yeah, no, it's good for them. I'm seeing so much press coming out from it, and like I'm stoked it's going to be on the Big Daddy Fox network Saturday 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I think that's freaking rad. Like I've been telling people, like when I was in the office today and at the real estate farm, that dude, Fox 2 p.m. Saturday. Check out your boy, slinging it. And for sure, like yeah, cool. I won. Like I'm hyped, but like yeah, I get it, guys. Like I won the adventure tracker class. It wasn't like it's working well. This is perfect for me where I'm at in my career, bouncing around from a different series, different sports. It's obviously way easier for me to win when I'm not racing with the big dogs every weekend, and that's all I'm doing. Those wins mean the most. And I think I forget even how much I have, just like 15 or I don't even know, like career wins in that class. But this is working well for me, being able to bounce around, race the FIM, race the adventure tracker class from one-off stuff. But I know it's not the same. Like the real winner was JD Beach. Like he's the man. That's still the Big Daddy Premier class. Like but we can be a little sideshow over here racing our dirt baggers. I love calling it dirt baggers, man.
I like it.
Yeah, so yeah, I took the dub, but like Drew Bromley was he was dude. He passed me back right when I passed him. I kind of tried to block past him, and maybe I hesitated too much. He went back by me, and then he was holding like a slight gap, but I was pushing. I was gonna do everything I could. I was gonna either win it or bin it. Honestly, like I was pushing, like I was casing the thing in some of the corners. But luckily for me, unfortunately for Dan, his bike shut off, kickstand thing, or I don't know why the bike shut off. Just similar to bagger racing, like still sorting through the, you disconnect stuff, take off kickstarters, and like there's so many electronics on those bikes. So that sucked for Dan. But shout out to Ivan Cervantes coming all the way from Spain. Regular badass, getting second. I was sick. Triumph boys were pumped. 1-2. Slick, Danny Eslick on the Saddleman Race Development Harley Davidson Pan America. So we're sitting across from the Saddleman pits with the Harley boys, which honestly looked more like a Saddleman team than a Harley team. But I like was initially supposed to ride for those guys, but that fell through. So they brought on old Danny, which worked out good for me, good for everybody involved. But we're sitting there in the Triumph pits looking across, and we got bone stock Triumphs, like literally bone stock, and they are sitting across from us. They got their bikes up on lifts. They got tire warmers on the front and rear. We got no tire warmers on our bikes. Like we're just like, all right. What did you think about that? What else? You said they had full Olins on those things too.
Oh yeah. They brought some race bikes, but that's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
They had full Olins. They had full Van Hines exhaust. So yeah, they had the good stuff, but yeah, we had a little bit more hot sauce than they did, I guess.
Yeah, I got a little cocky after the first qualifier, and I was fastest, and I was like, I got a little cocky, and I was like, I told Danny, I was like, why are you guys going so slow? And then I went out for the next qualifier, and I like just was like dicking around and didn't get a good lap in. But yeah, I started getting a little cocky and fucking with them guys. Excuse my French. But yeah, so Slick third, congrats, and who's this guy? Robbie McClendon fourth. Shout out Robbie. Cole King fifth. Another one of the Triumph riders. He was on his own Triumph with support from Triumph Indianapolis. So that was cool. Yeah. Frankie was fast. I wasn't gonna let him beat me though. no, just kidding. He was fast. But he stalled it. He stalled it. Got sixth. Bromley seventh. Ernie Vigil. And Nick, the stunt riders, 8th and 9th, dude. Like I can't say enough how cool those guys were. So that's all the Triumph talk. We'll let you guys. I'll quit shoving it down your throats. But that was a cool experience.
That was awesome. It was so much fun.
We got some comments here coming in. Joe Blow says, little Sammy on a giant scoot, LOL. Dominic Clinger says, the people want last week's co-host. And what else we got?
My feelings are hurt.
Someone said, are they running bags on them? I guess, like, I don't know.
I
wanted to run bags. I mean, I'm calling it dirt baggers. But I don't know how big the bags are, if it makes it more dangerous with it being wider or whatever. But I think we should have bags, and we should be required to have like a 6-pack of beer. And after the race, we should like stop and shotgun the beer, unless I'm running the twins class right afterwards.
Nope, rules are rules.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Well, I think we can move on to the premier class in American Flat Track, which I will say I wish I would have celebrated that win a little more, but like they were hustling that program through. We went right into the main events, no heat races, right out of qualifying, and the Super Twins riders were already in staging when I was pulling off the track. So I just like got that bike right in there and was trying to cool off. But then there was like a delay with track prep and some stuff. So like I could have messed around a little bit longer, and I was gonna try and do the one trick I can do on bikes is donuts. I was going to do some donuts, and I started doing it, but then like kind of slipped, and I was like, I don't want to crash. But I'm like regretting that I didn't send the celebrations a little more. So next time, hopefully we get to do that again and do that again. So All right, we're ready to move to the Big Daddy class, the Super Twins.
Oh yeah.
You ready? All right.
I'm ready.
All right. So
I'm always ready.
Dude, we're born ready. So Super Twins, man, JD. Like I was bummed when JD was coming because I think we all were. Like JD is the best basically in the world at TT racing. I know that because of or he's come to the Rossi's Ranch and showed his speed there. So he was quickest all day. I was kind of surprised actually. The boys were pretty close to him, like especially in the dash. The guys were really giving him a run for his money, and Breyer wasn't too far off of him in the final. For me, like I was just on that. I was on a Yamaha as well, but dude, I was in the same practices as JD, and it was like we were on completely different bikes. I had like no grip in comparison. So for me, that's a little frustrating. I need to. It's tough. Just I'm like kind of where Essenson was when they started in 2017. I just churn up on our bike with not developing it, and they're got that many years of development in getting hooked up. So we'll have to figure that out going into next year to figure out what I can ride next year and be competitive since I can't ride the XR, unfortunately. So yeah, anyways, that was kind of my take on that situation, which is like, I wanted to say that because like, dude, it was like we're on completely different bikes. So shout out to Essenson, they did their work, and that thing is amazing. I want to ride it. I think everybody does.
Yeah, but that's not to say JD didn't ride it really well too.
Though. 100%. That's why I started with JD. He's the best. He was gonna win no matter what. Like JD, like 100%. The best for that situation, 100%. And now he's going to be hopefully he's on the podium again this weekend, Mid Ohio for Moto America. So we'll have to everyone root on our boy JD, Moto America. But yeah, JD mopped the floor with us, but not by as much as I expected. Breyer was fairly close in second, and Van der Kooi was, I don't think, that far off in third. And so that was solid run from those guys. So it looks like the best lap time for those guys was 26.7. So I think mine was 28.6 or something. So maybe I was like on the adventure tracker, maybe about 2 seconds slower, based off of looking at that here. JD with the win, 1.7 seconds ahead of Breyer, and another, Van der Kooi was only half a second back from him. Fisher fast all day. That's shout out to Fisher, man. How cool was that? Like he was just quick, dude. That was cool to see from your boy Davis. I freaking the first start I was third place, like holding it down. I had a gap to fourth, and then old Wrecking Ball came through and ran over Price. Caused a restart. Man, I don't know that I would have been able to hold third. Like I was doing everything I could, because I think they might have been starting to close on me. I had a gap initially because I was just doing everything I could to hang close-ish to Breyer. But like I said, I just didn't have the grip I needed. There's my excuse book. I'll stop. But so I don't know if I would have been able to hold the third. But yeah, so Van der Kooi third, Fisher fourth, ran strong. But yeah, so Mies got a bad start. On the start, like Fisher went sideways. Mies didn't go anywhere. I came through from the second row. I kind of clipped Mies on my way by with my footsie. And so Mies was buried in the pack. I was third. I'm like, heck yeah, this fell right into my lap. I love this. But then, yeah, Mies was obviously, in a rush to try and get back up front because he was so stoked for the Sturgis TT, and bumped Price. Price went down, and then he ran him over. So we got to talk about that because obviously we see here like Mies is not listed. Mies finished fifth in the race, got disqualified, but they didn't announce it. I should have checked Mies' Instagram, see if he said anything, issued an apology or anything. I'm not sure if he has. So he took out Price, not just kind of more or less like aggressive racing, the Mies deal, wasn't out of control, but knocked him down nonetheless. And then heat of the moment, do we give Mies some grace on this one? Where are you at with this one? Heat of the moment, popped the clutch and ran over the side of his head and neck, and and went like kind of over the side of him when obviously like the move would have been to back up and pull around, which dude is the heat of the moment. Like want to try and show him a little grace, but obviously is really bad deal. I know he's getting put to blast for it, so I don't want to stack on too much on top of him. But what's your hot take?
I mean, I've seen both sides of it. On social media and whatnot, people talking about it, blasphemies, not blasphemies. Joe Blow just said he ran over his head, man. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like we're talking about, he's being, and we haven't even seen a press release or anything. So, was he DQ'd for that 100% for sure, or are we all just speculating? And if it was, then does AFT have different angles than we have? Because, I mean,
I can share some insight on that situation a little bit, just because I hung out
all right.
till we shut the bar down at the after the race. I hung out with the AFT boys, and basically what happened was they, Brian Smith had to make the call in the moment, and the TV crew said, "Brian, do you want to see a replay?" Yeah. Well, they showed the replay on Flow for everyone to see, except for Brian was on the opposite side of the track, didn't see it. So he was not able to make a call in the moment, because probably he would have made a call in the moment. And since that's like the way they roll now, if you take someone out, I guess they put you back if they catch you in time on the replay. So, but they didn't see it. But he was like, they were really shocked about him running him over, I think, as everybody was, and said that there would be a penalty coming. So guessing it was a combo of the takeout and running him over. But that's a very, very educated guess on that one. But yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, I watched it and I kind of like see like heat of the moment, this and that, and it was a pretty harsh penalty. Little surprised at how harsh it was. Like they fined the guy $7,500 recently for around circumstances around this event, and then disqualify him. Like, whew, he's the new whipping boy, apparently, man. That's wild times. But hey, it is what it is. It happened. And
I will say this, hell, me and you have been in arguments on the opposite side of Mies before. So it's not like what I'm about to say. I mean, I don't have any skin in the game either way, but I try to put myself in the situation of Mies, and thinking about that, I would honestly have exactly done the same thing. Like tried to pop the clutch and pull the bike, which is what he tried to do. Now, yes, he hit his head, and if that is the penalty for doing that, and I mean, obviously, I don't want anybody to be hurt, much less Price. I like the kid a lot, but I know for a fact. I mean, I don't have a lot of money, but I would bet a lot of the money that I do have that Jared did not mean to hit him and like run his head over. I do think he meant to pop the clutch and get out of there as quick as possible. Unfortunately, Brandon's head was there. But I'm just saying, I hate to say it, I might lose some friends over this or fans over this, and I still like Brandon Price, but I can say with 100% certainty I would have done the same thing. And if AFT would have fined me, then I would have been like, well, I mean, I'd do the same thing again in the future. Unfortunately, it's just
no. I mean, dude, heat of the moment. We'll give Jared some grace. But no, that was not the move. Like, he should have backed up and ran around him. And actually, I talked to Jared briefly because he was messaging me about some of my dad's comments on Facebook, and so we were like,
Willie.
Yeah, wow, Willie going off on Facebook.
God, I love that guy.
Can't control him, but he was just trying to be funny, but he got
no, you can't. You cannot.
Got taken a little personally, but all good. We smoothed it over and had a chat with Mies a little bit briefly over text, and he said he popped his clutch to get off of him, which, okay, that's where I'm like, okay, maybe heat of the moment, but clearly he wasn't on him when he popped the clutch to get off of him. So but yeah, it is what it is. Like, dude, stuff happens, heat of the moment, but I'm sure he will learn from that. We all will. But yeah, glad Brandon's all right. He should come out with like a helmet with like tire marks on it for his new look, Brandon Price.
That would be good. Or the speed bump. I think that he shared like a meme of himself being a speed bump, which also tells me like everybody's thankful that nobody got hurt, right? Because even Price is joking about it now after the fact, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's definitely no ill intent on Mies, and the guys that do say that, I'd still tell them right to their face that I don't think he would ever do that on purpose. He was just trying to get the hell out of there faster.
And you know what? While we're on it, let's just touch on it. Like what my dad said on Facebook was, "Here's a list of things Jared wouldn't do to win a race," and it was like an empty list. Like obviously he was, but it's like my dad was trying to be funny because like I feel like that's been like a thing in flat track that we would say like, oh, he would run over his mom to win the race, and now it's kind of like we all know he's so tenacious and such a eye on the prize guy that he'll do anything, and that was clearly kind of showed that again. But yeah, unfortunate deal. So
but that's why he's a multi-time champ. Shit, Scott Parker, Jay Springsteen would have used your ass's traction too. Don't even lie.
Yep, for sure.
Bart Markle, Bad Bart. We're gonna have all the old heads on here trying to fight us sooner or later, but. Yeah, didn't Bart Markle used to try and run people over with his ice bike? With spikes? Dude's nickname was Bad Bart. It don't get no nastier than that.
Dude, yeah, for real. So
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
yeah.
So anyways, that was a wild turn of events. So it bumped me up to fifth place, which not the way I want to take it, but it's like because every other time I've rode that Yamaha, I've gotten sixth, which was sixth again until getting bumped up to fifth, which helps me out a little bit because Yamaha contingency kicks in at fifth. So that was an extra G bar. Thanks, Mies. Sorry about your luck. And then Max Whale, solid sixth place behind me. Trevor Bruner, your boy Dalt, eighth. Like he was there, kind of just didn't quite have it all day, but kind of was there. What's up with Dalt? Let's touch on Dalt. That's your boy. What's up with Dalt? What's he doing? Do you guys got any plans going? We're getting close to the end of the year. How we looking? Can you comment? Can you comment on that? As his, are you still his agent?
his manager supreme. Yeah, no, he's doing good, man. The infield guys, like always, they're busting their butts on it. I thought he did really great at Sturgis. That was a completely different chassis than what they've been on. I can't, dive into all the details on it, but it's completely different than what he's been on. So it was a learning curve there. Plus, the asphalt portion too is clearly different than the TTs Johnny's rode on. So yeah, but as far as his plans, I mean, as far as I know, they're still busting butt and getting ready for Springfield. So that is the plan next race.
Comment. Don't know about next year. Can't comment on that or what. I mean, we're like, dude, MotoGP.
Oh no, I don't.
We gotta bring our level of like silly season. Like MotoGP, silly season goes off. Like,
true.
Yeah. So I'm just digging like silly season style. But like you can avoid the question if you want. Like
No. I'll tell you 100%. I don't think him and Johnny have spoken yet. They have not spoken to me about it. So I'm trying to kind of let him be his own guide, so to speak, but just kind of be in the background if he needs me. But I know he's having a great time. He's learning a lot. He's ridden so many different bikes, but once again, this is another completely different type bike that he's used to riding. So he's relearning, I guess, because there are a lot of differences. I mean, he said it's got a lot of good characteristics, but it's nothing like, the twins that he's ridden in the past. So, but that's not a bad thing either. He's very adaptable. And I think, when the conditions are right, he still can run up front for sure.
Dude, it was wild how the first race he's freaking on the box. Like that was so sick. We was all so pumped for him. On another note, does Johnny Lewis, he doesn't come to the track anymore, does he?
Yeah, he's there a few times. I know he's having some travel issues as far as the last two races, flights, and it wasn't just Johnny. Heck, let's see, the race before last, maybe it was just me and one of the other guys. Like 80% of the team couldn't make it; they were stuck. Yeah. So luckily the bikes were there. But other than that, no, I think the team's badass, man. They're a good group of dudes. And to Miss Dawn. You know Miss Dawn, don't you? From the shop in Dayton.
Oh, yeah. So she's like kind of on the team, huh?
Yeah, dude. And they come to Clash like every time. And
Yeah, they're so cool. They were helping me out. They were helping me out at the Clash this year because I mean, I was my own mechanic, so I needed like all the help I could get.
Well, Josh is a good one. He's a good dude.
Yeah, they're super good. So yeah, then B-Rob 9th, obviously not feeling the street TT. Brandon Price 10th. Dan Bromley, I saw we were like lapping up him. I don't know why he was so far off. Cole King. That's cool. Cole was 12th. I mean, yeah, it gets kind of slim here towards the back. Cameron Smith, Logan McGrain, Jimmy McAllister, Daniel Poole, and then me's last. Obviously, I don't know. I want to get into it too much, but I need to talk to like them guys at AFT and kind of like bring up some stuff like the whole like letting anyone race. Even though we didn't have enough to fill the field, like we got to like. It was a little dangerous out there with some of the riders that were at a different like pace than us in the Super Twins class on that track. So the whole provisional thing for when there is enough guys and then like getting rid of the 7% rule or whatever, like they need to look at that again. They need to get rid of the provisional unless there's maybe some special circumstances for certain guys to have one for like top 10 or something. But from the previous year, they did before or you, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just need to talk to them directly about that. I don't need to air out my grievances here, but needs to be some work done because I ran into a couple of situations out there where it was sketchy, like passing the couple. I mean, they're my homies, but like they should not have been on that same track as us.
Like closing speeds and stuff. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got some awesome people, man. Guess who's watching right now?
Who's watching?
Big Reggie.
Big Reggie. Oh, Reggie. Yeah. I remember Reggie. Yep.
Yeah, dude. He's going to come back and race flat track some more too. Him and Alex and probably the whole Barnesdale clan out there in Country Folk, Alabama. So yeah, I was stoked to see him in there.
Yeah, we've been getting some good comments on here. Someone asked how much the Triumph weighs and the Triumph Tiger 1200 weighs, and then we had an answer here from Jay Shelton, says 548 elbs. Yeah, as long as you keep that thing, upright, like you don't really feel it. I don't know, but like they're designed obviously to work well. But yeah, that's cool to get that insight here live on the pod.
So hold on. Skidmore just asked the 900. See, that's where, we didn't really get into it too much. I'd like to see a few different rules specifically. The 1200 Tiger compared to the other two has a shaft drive. And
we had shaft drives on those bikes, our bikes. And then like the Harleys had chain drives, right?
And the Honda's chain too.
Yeah.
So the 900 Triumph has a chain drive. Yeah. And it weighs a little bit less, which, I know they'd have to do performance balancing somehow, maybe add some weight to the 900. But I think the shaft drive in future stuff especially, but we'll see how far it goes. But that was one of the things I did want to touch on. But
yeah, it was like we're racing a truck out there.
Yeah, I know. A Humvee.
But I will say, I think they are looking at that. I think they are looking at so yeah, basically he's saying that the 900 Tiger 900 would have been a better option, and yes, it would have been, but to keep it more or less like fair for Harley, they only have the 1250 Pan America, they kept us on the big CCs, which obviously worked out well. But I think they're looking at bringing it down to the lower CCs, and it may include that way. I think it may include some more manufacturers. I think maybe like the Yamaha Tenere and some stuff like that. So I think it's something being looked at. So man, I'm cautiously optimistic. Maybe I'm more than that. Maybe I'm just living in my positivity bubble, and I'm like, this thing is gonna trend like baggers, and we're gonna get more OEM support, which is gonna be more rides, more money, more fun. Yep. And
obviously it would be great. I would like to see that. And the shaft drive, I guess it didn't really affect you as much, but like the main thing that felt really weird to me, of course, you were shifting where I was just keeping her spun up in first, but
bouncing off that rev limiter.
Yeah, the last left-hander, if you would crack the throttle, you could feel the slack just a little bit in the drivetrain. So like I was trying to like actually keep the tire boiling, and I learned that from Danny, watching him go past me sideways. So So yeah, that was my key, and I think honestly that was another big part because I was so busy tiptoeing through the last bit of the dirt section on the pavement that once I just let my balls drop, so to speak, just kept her spinning, keep it twisted, or whatever your phrase used to be.
Yeah, keep it twisted.
Keep it twisted.
Yeah, I was kind of easing it, like I was trying to be easy on it, but like, man, it was fun riding that thing. Like it would waller sometimes, like
Yeah.
like it'd be wallering, and it has all electronic suspension. So I would like you open the dash, and you'd like set the suspension how you want it. But someone asked if we can run Dunlops, and well, actually, we had a spec tire of Dunlops, but it was like the whatever tire fits those adventure tracker tires for Dunlop.
I think it was like called a Trail Max Mission. It was a Mission, something Mission, because it was funny because like Mission Foods can sponsor me right now.
Yeah, they could. You could go for that. I couldn't
Dude,
get
I would be
the
the one dude that would literally eat their food every day too.
Yeah,
Every
I couldn't
day.
get. Yeah, true. I couldn't get the Mission sponsorship, which actually, like, in a sense, worked in my favor because I mean they're doing great for the sport, and they supported me before, and the teams I rode for and love it. But it forced me to keep digging, and like finally was able to dig and bring in a outside sponsor with some money. So that was super cool. And I don't know if you followed my OnlyFans yet, but you should. I'll be posting like all sorts of stuff on here. So I've been able to post. What? Come on, man. Yeah, so I'm showing here on the screen my OnlyFans. We already got like some sick onboard stuff from there. I did some live stuff, more onboard, and like a day of the track, I'm doing more updates there than anywhere. So like here's all right. This is a lot riding 2 classes. So there, I'm just doing live updates. So yeah, I'm posting on there like a whole lot more than other platforms. So it's it's cool if people are. I get that there's a stigma around it, but if people are able to get on there and support me on there, it helps because that'll help make the partnership successful. And I mean, they're putting money into the sport, and we're just posting our athletic content on there, and they're just empowering athletes. They're supporting all sorts of athletes. So another shameless plug for the Slammer and the OnlyFans, or as I like to call it, Only Slams platform.
Wait, is the OnlyFans people going to watch this video, you think?
Probably not. Dude, they're so busy. They're like bringing in athletes all the time.
Dude, they need to bring me in, man. I'll get naked and everything. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll go the extra mile. You want to pay me?
Yeah, show me the money.
If you want to see it, you got to pay.
Yep. So, yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, so that was my shameless plug. Let's give you some shameless plugs. What do we got coming up for Robbie Bobby on the agenda? I know we got the Panhandle Clash, which I have on my schedule, which I did world tour shirts with all my like events that I'm hitting all over the world. And I included as the finale, wrapping her up this year, the Panhandle Clash in Pensacola.
How do we get those guys? We need to get those guys over here.
What guys?
The guys that you race against in Europe.
Dude, yeah, there's those guys are interested. They're interested. They're asking about it every time I go. And actually, the Panhandle Clash would be a good one for them to come to because that way they get exposed to a lot of different tracks in one like short period of time. Although they're a little bit different than AFT style tracks because they're sick. They're like little cushion tracks, which we don't get a lot of that in AFT. AFT is more like car tracks and stuff. But yeah, would be like, dude, they'll come. You could get someone to come. Well, we can try and tee that up. But yeah, let's talk about a little bit about your event coming up. Do you have plans for it? It's December. The Panhandle Clash. It's one I always love to do. I'm gonna go stay on the beach for a few days and then race some dirt bikes.
Yes. Yep. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be awesome. That's always the second weekend in December, and then also I believe we've got a Halloween-ish themed pit bike race in October at Area 69. You've been there before. You wrecked some little kids before in the backyard, so you know your way around that course. Yep. And then I'm really excited. I'm been talking a lot and been invited to go to Spain around Christmas time, so that's gonna be exciting.
What's so right after the Panhandle Clash, you're going to Spain for?
Sounds like it. Yep.
Is that something Fran's doing or what's going on?
Yeah, Fran and me and Marquez are gonna go kick it, ride some Ducatis, Go hang out with GG, help him develop some more Ducati MotoGP bikes, just the usual stuff. Since I don't ever get invited to Rossi's, but we'll make it way cooler.
No, but like, quit joking around. What's actually going on? Drop the
there's a big race at Rocco's that Ferrano said I could come to. He invited me to.
Sick. That's awesome. Yeah, they just did one recently, and they invited me to it as well. And I was like, dude, I need to come there and ride before I come and race because they will smoke you. They ride there all the time. They're freaking. Well, if it's on the TT course, they're
definitely not smoking me on TT course. I'll left and wreck them to the left and to the right.
Dude, have you seen those guys ride a TT course? They are unreal. Like the skill that they have in the right hand.
Ride a TT course?
Yeah, you were behind me, bro.
That was because I was only like 69%.
I was only 6 or 9%.
Yeah. Well, but that's why Rossi won't let me come over to his house because he knows I'll break that track record like on my outlap. Light work.
Yeah. Fair play. All right. What other topics we got to cover? I think we're getting ready. We're running through the topics pretty quickly. I want to ask you about what's going on with Landon Smith. Is he road racing? Is he flat tracking? He's one of our Pensacola boys. Landon Smith, Ronnie Smith. We haven't seen him at a few races lately. Are they road racing? What are they doing?
No, actually, it's just been so damn hot. You had to check with Ronnie officially, but they're just taking kind of a little hiatus. And he was talking about picking up some road racing this fall, potentially. They also got some sprint cars they're playing with. They got some go-karts they're playing with. Plus, I think Ronnie is going to be getting ready for hunting season soon as well. So I hate to say like racing's on the back burner as far as like AFT, but I guess that's kind of what he's doing right now.
No, that's cool. I like that for them, man. Like, I mean,
they're just doing their own thing, man.
Yeah, no, that's great. I need to call Ron Dog and catch up. So,
yeah, you should.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot of good comments in here talking about Heron's OnlyFans partnership. Heron actually called me today. Talked to Josh Heron on his way to Mid Ohio, which was cool. We was discussing OnlyFans strategies on how to drive traffic over there and stuff like that. But yeah, he's rocking that deal. Yeah. So what else we got, buddy? I guess that's about it. You ready for chocolate and tea and bedtime?
Yeah.
No, that's what I do. I'm like addicted to chocolate and I got some tea.
No, I'm gonna be taking some NyQuil here soon, man. I'm so stopped up.
Yeah.
Somebody call me Stevie Wonder, man. My sinus is I need to be blowing my nose. I've got literally a stack of paper towels, but I just don't know how loud it's gonna be in the speaker. So yeah. I'm just gonna keep waiting, and my honker's all messed up, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, well, at least we didn't have the fire alarm issue the last weekend. I had to smoke. My buddy's Dominic's smoke detector was going off, but it was just a random thing. It popped up like it wasn't going before, but stuff happens.
I love it.
No, man, appreciate you hopping on here with this. We're gonna try and keep this going. We'll see if I can. Keep doing this on a regular basis. Like I'll do this live, and then it'll be up on YouTube, and then loaded to podcast platforms afterwards.
Yeah,
man. Shout out to AFT for getting this thing in. I know it was a tough one. I'm gonna be back to Europe next weekend, racing in the UK. And then I'm trying to figure out my plans. Like I think I'm going to Norway to teach a flat track school the next weekend, and then racing in France. Sick. The track in France is so sick. Like that thing is so sick. I should probably bring leathers. It's kind of fast, but it's so sick. And then the next weekend I'm racing my personal Harley XR 750. I might have talked about it already on last week's pod, but I'm gonna keep hyping it. I'm racing my personal Harley XR 750, bringing LZ Racing out of retirement. Ride in King's Customs. They're bringing it from Ohio. I'm going to race that. I'm going to list it for sale and sell it with a set of factory Harley leathers. Be the last Harley XR to ever race because unfortunately they are being put out to pasture. It's been a long, good run. Wish they could make an exception for the XRs, but
see, that's what guys here in the first place. You know what I mean? Making exceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, no, if you think about it, they made exceptions back then with the XR. Yeah. Supposed to be homologated, and like they had one picture of like 300 of them, And, we all know damn good well you weren't going to no Harley dealership and looking
No.
at a Sportster and then a wide whatever jigger over here, and then there's an XR 750 with no lights. No.
Yeah.
No, you had racing dealerships that bought them and stuff, but let's be real. And then same thing when the Indian came out. It's like, wait a second. So I think no more exceptions. I love the XR. Hey, I got to sit in victory lane because of you and an XR by LZ Racing. So,
Yeah.
I love an XR, but it's time, man. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah. We had some comments coming in saying XR should be grandfathered in, 2-valve push rods. I agree. XRs are like tractors. I mean, and the Indian is too. It's just like the Indian is wild to ride the Indian. When you turn on the throttle, it's just so flat and dead. But that's why it works, because it's flat and dead off the bottom, and then gets going. So,
Sammy, tell me though, right now in this day and age, in this economy, could you see yourself racing a team of X like you used to do with XRs? You had your own team of like 3 or 4 of them, and you had to rebuild them in this day and age if you could even get parts.
Well, no. But like, dude, Tony Dodge will. I'm not saying that that's what should happen, but it's just like one-off events. Like obviously it worked so well this year. We had the crowd hype, Daytona and Chico, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it one more. So for these select events, it totally works. We've had some people, like even here we got a comment from Mike saying that they should have vintage races for XR 750s. Personally, and there's been a push for that, to have that in the AFC series. And personally, I think that it's too soon for that. I showed that you can still win in the premier class on the XR 750 in this day and age, if things go your way. and so I think there's a time and a place for that. I just think it's another decade from now, personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, yep. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Robbie, Bobby. We'll see if we can bust another one out this next week, or wait till the following week. We'll just kind of play it by ear, but appreciate everyone tuning in, supporting, watching on the podcast platforms. And yeah, man, we'll catch you at the next one.
Peace out, everybody.
See you.